What up, chicken nuggets? It's your boy, Dr. Tyler Tarver, back at it again with the white vans, back at it again with another shiny little slab of the Sports Cards Are Dope podcast. If you're with me, that means you haven't quit on me. I don't know how to quit you. Thank you for not quitting yet, okay? But I look forward to ostracizing you and making you want to leave forever because I talk too Southern and I talk too fast and I get a little too hyped. I start yelling into the microphone. So if you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on Apple podcasts or the Spotify's, whatever you're watching and listening on, I really appreciate you. If it's found its way to LinkedIn, cool. Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. So this episode, we are diving in to the hottest takes for 2025 in the collecting world. From $100 million collectible sales to Fanatics, creating little Super Bowl redemptions. I don't know. Could happen. We're about to break down the best predictions and why they might just be spot on or completely off the rails, okay? Got opinions, we got analogies, and every now and then we got a little pop culture tie-in. And so I had to look at the microphone because my voice went so off the rail. Like that tone was so bad. I had to look at the mic to be like, is this real? Is this real life? So this episode is called the 25 hottest takes for 2025 in collecting, okay? I got these from Mantle. I don't know if you ever heard of Mantle, but I got these from Mantle. It's on mantle.com. We're talking $100 million collectibles to game used jock straps. Yeah, quite the plethora of things. These were user submitted hot takes, like they were the bomb from the hot ones. They're spicy, okay? Came into onmantle.com. I don't know if you've ever messed with Mantle. I literally can't believe, I think I'd heard of it, but I didn't know anything about it. And Dr. Collectible, great follow, go check him out. Dr. Collectible posted about it on Instagram, and I saw it and I was like, that sounds dope. It's like essentially Instagram for collectors. So it's where people can post photos of different things they collect, cards, games, all this stuff. And then you can like sort by group. And I think they're actually adding groups in there where you can communicate with people in groups. And again, this sounds like a sponsor. This is not sponsored by Mantle. Unless Mantle wants to sponsor, then holla at your boy. I got you, fam. But actually, I don't know, because I got all 25 of these. They were user submitted to Mantle, and then Mantle like posted them. These top 25 takes of 2025. So me using them as the topic of what, spoiler alert, is going to be 2 podcasts, because I'm going to split them in half. Me using those, if that is copyright infringement, then maybe them not suing me is the sponsorship. It's like a little gold inside of itself, like Inception for sponsorships, okay? So I'm breaking this up into 2 episodes because of time and my desperate attempt to get you to like and subscribe. So if you want, please follow, subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and or all 3. And here we go. In the words of, not Hayden Christensen, that was Star Wars. Heath Ledger. Wow. Way off. Sorry. Wrong white dude with hair. Here we go. Okay. So the first hot take was by @Buster. He said, we will see a $100 million non-art collectible sale. Okay. Oh man, I feel like there's been several that I thought would go higher than they did. Like the one where Karl Malone had all the Dream Team jerseys and he sold them all. He had them like at his car lot, sitting up in glass frames for like, since what was that, 1992, and he got them all signed by all the players, MJ included. MJ's jersey only went for like over $3 million. I would have guessed way more, because if I'd had that money, if I had that much disposable income, your boy would have been one of those people that actually put a bid on it. I like to do that. Does anybody else do that? You go into like auction sites, and when it's going to be like a $10,000 sale, like there was one on Fanatics Collect, not sponsored by Fanatics Collect, of an MJ and LeBron on-card auto, and I just went and bid on it. I was the top bidder for like an hour at like $50. So yeah, I could say one-time owner of a LeBron MJ dual auto. That's not true. Okay, so Buster @Buster's hot take was that we'll see a $100 million sale. So if we think about the possibility of this, you're going to have to look at getting wealthy people involved, because I'm not, like, I'll only be able to bid if it's in the first like hour or 2 before anybody the legit starts bidding. So what you need is wealthy people to get involved. And honestly, you don't necessarily just need one wealthy person to get involved. You got to have 2. When you have these auctions, these bids, You need two people to keep raising the bids. I'm looking at you, $800,000 MJ rookie. Okay. The reason it got so high is because two people were bidding against each other because they thought it was the best looking MJ rookie they had ever seen. All right. Now, the crazy thing is I said you need at least two, but you also only need two people. So if we can get two rich people to jump in and start bidding over something in a little bidding war, we could see that over $100 million collectible. Now, I was thinking through and trying to figure out what would be a collectible that would be worth that. And maybe you could look at historical stuff. So if we did historical things, we can name a lot of things like, whatever, George Washington's gun. I don't know what that, it's probably, that belongs in a museum. Something from history, like if Jesus game worn sandals came out, like I could see those going for 100 mil. If we can game, what is it, game verify them. But if we're looking sports wise, like me personally, I would think Michael Jordan something. Okay. Maybe, do you know the North Carolina shorts? I was trying to think like what would be something of his so unique, one of one that could go. And so I'm thinking like his North Carolina shorts, he used to wear those underneath his game shorts every game. I could see maybe those going high, but 100 million, I don't know. Maybe if you like crossed over sports, the sports collectibles with into the sneaker world, I think maybe the first ever Jordan 1s that were ever worn, like first game worn, maybe you could see those going, but I don't know about 100 million. I also want to say, like, the first thing that came to mind outside of basketball was Babe Ruth calling his home run bat, but that actually already sold at Leland for like 212,000, so it didn't even hit a milli. So I was way off there as well. Trying to think, like a Mark Celebrini rookie card. Might be, oh, that's another hot take. Sorry, I got distracted. I can't think of anything else. Those would be the only two. Okay. So the next one would be a Mark Celebrini rookie card being worth more than Connor Bedard's. That was another hot take. So that would be hot take number 2. Bedard hasn't really blown people out of the water from what I've read because I don't watch any hockey in his second year. And Celebrini is off to a really hot start. But honestly, whenever you see these overall picks come in, it's like this. This is how I break it down. This is in my head. Y'all could be better than me. If you have a better way, tell me. I see 3 stages of card hikes. Okay. The first one is hype. When there's hype, it comes in. Jackson Holiday, Zion Williamson, like Bedard, all these people coming in, they get hype because they could be the next best thing. So they get hype. Everybody's bidding on their stuff. They want to have it in case it goes off. So that's the first rise. And then usually it's a plateau or a dip, no matter how good they do. And then the next thing is playoff success. So one is hype. The next jump is playoff success. Luka, he's made it to the finals and his didn't really go up that much. I know because I tried to sell one. All right. And so you need playoff success and then actually winning one or two. And then the next jump really is GOATs. So like if Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl again, I don't see it going crazy. It's just like, oh, he's already won a couple. Like he's doing good. He's doing pretty well. And he keeps winning. Like when he passes Tom Brady, if he does, then I could see it as well. By the way, the hockey submission was submitted to Mantle by SD28. I don't forget to give him a shout out for that. So my thoughts are maybe, I don't know. I watch enough hockey to give a really good comment on this. So let me roll to the next one. Let's see. Next one. Okay. How about this one? The third one are game worn. This is the third idea. Would game worn from 2025 will finally have some big moments as leagues, teams, and players realize how special these pieces are. And there's some kind of major auction or milestone with a game-worn jersey while it's the game, it's happening. So that's really interesting. That's from Alexis Ohanian. Okay. Alexis, that's a fantastic thought. So let me summarize it better without me sounding like I'm reading it. So they're saying, Alexis is saying that in 2025, there could be something that's being game worn in the moment that goes to auction or goes for sale. This is actually a great idea. And I think a live auction of a jersey post game, maybe like, oh, you want to see it go up? If LeBron actually retired this year in 2025, this is his last game of the season. He's like, surprise, surprise, surprise. This is my last game. He would never do that because he's going to go like on the tour like Kobe did. But if that happened, that was his last game used jersey and they auctioned it right then. Oh my gosh, that would go for millions, not 100 million, but it would go for millions. And again, that's not happening in 2025. LeBron didn't text me and let me know, even though we did graduate high school the same year. So we're pretty close no big deal. Not from the same school, but the same year. So whatever. Don't like to brag, but I like to tell the truth. So I think game worn items, they can become grails even more than anything else. I only have one game worn piece, and it's this jersey. If you're watching on YouTube, it's this jersey right here behind me of Jordan Poole. I bought it on auction, and then I took it to a game and he signed it. And so that's the only game worn thing that I have. But I know somebody that has a ton of game worn stuff, shoes, all of that. And I think that there is a huge market. There's a huge market for that, and I think it will continue to go up with the game worn stuff. So next, the next thing that was predicted in 2025, Fanatics will put out the first ultra rare wax box and charge $100,000 per box. And there will be redemptions for events like attending the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift or having some drinks with Wemby at the All-Star game, something like it. First off, Wemby, did he turn 21 yet? First off, you shouldn't be drinking, bro. You're underage. Calm down. Okay? So you can call them experience redemptions. And this was submitted by the Bouvier. I think there's some vowels in there. So hopefully I'm saying it right. On Mantle by them. Combining cards with these VIP experiences like Taylor Swift Super Bowl tickets, I think that could merge this collectible and exclusive access thing. Honestly, it's marketing genius. I actually love this as somebody who like loves marketing stuff and learning and studying it and trying to promote stuff and put things out. I think the box itself could be seen as like a status symbol, being like I was able to even buy this. So it's like, I have some empty boxes of 2003 top stuff like LeBron's rookie year. There's nothing in it, but I keep the box because it's a really cool piece. Like that's a box. If it had stuff in it, it would be worth a lot of money. So I think you could see it as status. 86 Fleer boxes. They sell for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, just an empty box. So having that would be like an exclusive thing that could be affordable in the secondary market. But I think those experiences, those live experiences, or even like somebody following you, if you pulled it and LeBron's going to follow you or give you a shout out on Instagram stories, like I collab with companies on education stuff and, they'll be like, part of the agreement is you can make 2 short videos and then you post 3 times on your Instagram story. I could easily see Fanatics or someone else doing that with a athlete, and part of the redemption is that athlete's going to post, I get to fly out, meet that athlete, take a photo, and they're actually going to post that on their Instagram. Like that would be really cool. And also pretty valuable to people that are trying to build a brand or a platform. So I could see a lot of, like big name breakers or big time people who have money in the hobby doing that because it's another promotion. It's like a free commercial. Whereas it would have cost $500,000 to have Peyton Manning be in your 1-minute commercial. Now you can pay to, $500,000, get 5 of those boxes and have a chance for Peyton Manning to be in a commercial. Maybe that's one of the things. It'd be like Willy Wonka's golden ticket is what it'd feel like, honestly, with a little less chocolate and a lot more children being put into chocolate rivers. Like we need to check into that. That seems super illegal and rude. And a lot less of that and more of like hanging out with like tall people, tall, strong guys. What are these, like strong guys or something? That's not the tone of voice from that very small YouTube video you probably haven't seen. So they did this a while back. I remember with some baseball players. I think I already talked about that, but they've done that before. So they've structured it, the structure of it, and then follow through because it's hard enough just to get them to sign stickers, like 1,000 stickers, much less, hey, Joe Burrow, will you go play catch with me? Like Field of Dream style. Okay. The next on Mantle suggestion for 2025 that might happen, crazy thing that might happen, is the Rittenhouse Cheers boxes will be the hardest to find and hottest box of 2025, the first half. That's was submitted by @Nando. I'll be honest, I had to look this up just to make sure. Cheers, they were like talking about what I thought they were at first. The TV show Cheers, they're doing cards for that. So the Rittenhouse, I guess, is the name of the company doing it. Cheers boxes. Nostalgia meeting scarcity. I don't know how many they put out of this, but Cheers is iconic, and a limited Rittenhouse release would create that FOMO for some people that are really big Cheers fans. But the question here for me would be, who is this important to? Who is Cheers important to? Personally, I'm a Friends over Seinfeld guy. Checks over stripes. Friends over Seinfeld. So I'd more roll with like some like game used Jenny Aniston. I call her Jenny just to be short. Jenny Aniston signed things and maybe some game used hair. Just kidding. That's weird. Don't say that, Tyler. So it'd be like Funko Pops are now, but for sitcom fans, a little niche, a little irresistible, but I don't know if it's for everybody. So hard to find. It just depends on the scale. If they only made like 5 boxes and there were 10 people that wanted it, yeah, I can see where the scarcity is there. Okay, next one. The next hot take would be college football and basketball cards, once undervalued, will continue to rise in value as they become the new format for prospecting, much like Bowman First are for baseball. And that was submitted by at Casa Breaks. Yes, I could absolutely see this happening. And it wasn't like a crazy, like it wasn't a specific number, so easier to say like, oh, it'll get more popular. You know, you don't want to say 10x because then everybody's like, you're going to 10x the hobby. If you just say get bigger, it's not an audacious goal, but it is probably more likely to do. It's just got to grow. Okay. So I think so with NIL deals and NCAA stuff, and the success stories of people signed, like Caleb Williams, Caitlin Clark signed with Panini, like it's going to drive that trend, especially their success in college. A company called On It, I've collaborated with them before. They're a great company, not sponsored by On It in this exact podcast, but On It does some amazing college stuff where they go in and they pay a lot of money to all the players, not just like the QB or this, the main 2 or 3 players. They pay all the players and get autographs from everybody, and it's able to get that NIL deal up for players that might not be as like, household names as the QBs. So I think you're going to see more and more of this pop up. Any more and more college stuff will get more important, because honestly, in my opinion, people get connected to these colleges. Like, I love the Warriors. I'm connected to the Warriors. I will never play or work for the Warriors, okay? But your boy got a degree from the University of Arkansas, okay? Granted, I do like the Warriors more, but they also didn't charge me thousands of dollars in loans. So I think that could be one I completely agree with, okay? Next big take. High-end video games are still undervalued and will move up in the collecting totem pole to be in line with comics and trading cards. This was submitted by at N64Collector_IG, at N64Collector. Just catching the vibes that you would like for graded video games to go up. And I am with you. You and me rowing the same boat across that Delaware, okay? As the owner of 2 GOAT graded video games, Backyard Baseball and Chaos in the Windy City, I would like to see them increase in value so that I can continue to not sell them. Okay. I would keep them until they're worthless. That's my vibe. And that's how I live my life. That's how I collect. Iconic games like Super Mario 64, Legend of Zelda, all that stuff. I think it's going to continue to go up, especially stuff that is unopened. It's, this stuff, we don't realize the scarcity of it till years later. We didn't realize the scarcity of the Mickey Mantle cards until people started trying to collect them. And then we started being able to track that. I think once it gets easier to track how much and how many of these collectibles are out there, and then the scales, I think once we know that scarcity a little better, I think it increases the value and how people chase it. Okay. So nostalgia driven demand aligns with other collectibles. So spot on. It's like, honestly, it's similar to like the vinyl resurgence, but this time for millennials, because we all played video games. Everybody else, the, boomers and Gen X, y'all were like right there at the Atari side. We were all in on Sega, and N64. I remember one time when I was a kid, like the first time I ever like really kind of lied to my parents about me being sick was whenever I wanted to stay home and play NFL Blitz for an entire day. And I did, and it was amazing. And then also, because you couldn't play online, so I did Mario Kart, and I'm really just racing myself as a ghost. Do you remember you could do that? You could like race, and then it would save on that little plastic memory card, and then you race against yourself as a ghost. So it can happen. Next big take is from at VandyFan. They said that all major sports will introduce something similar to the MLB debut patch cards for baseball, as the single rookie card one-on-ones to chase. So I don't know if you know, you probably know by now, they have debut cards, debut patches where they put them on players in their first game, and they take the patch off after the game, and then they put it on a card, and they look pretty good. I think it was pitched as like the most like groundbreaking thing in the hobby since the start of the hobby. It wasn't. I think they overhyped that, but it doesn't take away the fact that it is still really awesome. You are getting a legit like King Griffey Jr.'s patch. I saw a mock-up somebody did of that. I reposted my story. I was like, this is too cool not to repost. Okay. NBA, NFL adopting MLB's debut patch stuff, creating these like iconic rookie cards, like the logo man from the first jersey. Like that would be sick. Like, can you imagine MJ's first ever game worn jerseys logo man? Like that would be insane. And so, yes, I think this hopefully would happen. I would think it'd be pretty easy. Just like, iron that thing on and then take that thing off. But these first worn items are grail worthy. And the only problem is only one person can own it. So that's the only negative, but it does increase demand for boxes and wax because you're trying to do it. And honestly, the number of players that come in, I don't know how many, there's like what, 480 NBA players. I would guess maybe what, 60 to 100, 70 to 100 NBA players are rookies in a given year. That would still be a pretty cool chase. And plus, again, the young player I collect a lot is Jordan Poole. Haven't seen a Jordan Poole like rookie logo man. He did have it's like, I don't know, I have it on this. Yeah, you can't see it because it's an audio podcast, but if you're on the YouTube, you can see on the back of this jersey, because this is like a legit jersey. Not like a legit game worn, but same quality. It's got, for one of those years, they had a Bill Russell 6 on the back middle. I bid on a Jordan Poole 1-of-1 rookie that had that. I bid on alt, and it had that in it. Not from his first game, but from one of his games, game worn. And I bid on it to like $3,000. I got outbid, and then the dude immediately put it on eBay for $6,000. And so I sent him a buy it now for $3,000 because your boy Petty, he turned it down. He didn't even respond. But like that would be cool from the first ever game. Like you would know like that was the one, because like that was from just any jersey. A logo man could be from any jersey that year. How cool would it be to have the one from the, like, it'd be easy. Just literally just do the logo man from the first game. But then again, you would want to keep that jersey intact, which is I think why they did the debut patches. I think that would be cool. It's like be like the wedding ring for these players. You know, it's their one thing. Okay. Next hot take is from @Figo Jam, Figo Jam, said, and I hope I don't pronounce it correctly. Lily Johannes, she's 17 years old, from Ajax, is declared the U.S. women's national team. She's became a part of the U.S. women's national team. This is for soccer. And the hot take is that she becomes the female sports breakout star in 2025. I would say Tyler's opinion. I don't know if this would happen. It would be awesome if it was, but it being soccer, I don't feel like it has as easy of a transfer over as it would like Caitlin Clark with basketball. I think, but then you got to think like what women's, maybe softball, but because I can see the baseball softball transition. I would hope it is, because I love women's sports and I hope that it continues to rise. But, you know, from what I've read and seen, she is a phenom, and she could keep elevating. And, you know, this increased attention to women's sports will amplify her star along with everybody else's. And granted, sometimes it comes a little slower. Some sports are later to pull in, but not every male sport is super popular. Like nobody's chasing the new pickleball men's cards, okay? But I've been saying it for a while. WNBA stuff is so underrated and undervalued. Even with this more attention, comes more stories, which in turn brings in more value. And I think Topps is going to continue to increase prices on these products, which is going to lead to, other companies doing the same thing. So next hot take, speaking of Topps, this is the hot take. Topps will continue to increase prices on products, which will lead to smaller card producing companies or the return of brand names from the past looking increasingly more attractive to collectors. And this was submitted by @OPC Ray. Rising card prices creates demand for affordable options. Okay. If I can't afford a National Treasures of my favorite player, why would I not go for Leaf? Like I bought a Leaf tie-dye of Steph Curry for like $200 auto. It would have cost me, if that was a Prism, it would have cost me thousands of dollars for the same player. Plus, I think that we are underrating these nostalgic brands because we're trying to compare them. Now, honestly, Panini is becoming a nostalgic brand because they're losing licensing. So they're probably not going to be one, just like Upper Deck and happened to them. Like these companies, they're still going to have their relevant cards and cards that matter and sell for a lot, but they're not going to be as in the current zeitgeist as whoever has the licensing. So, for instance, like Upper Deck, that was my card company because that's all I could afford when I was a kid and getting packs. It was the cheap brand. And my friend Chris, he got into the hobby about a year before me, and he sold a bunch of MJs to me and my buddy Garrett. And he was sitting there, and there were some duplicates that were easy to sell those off. But then he had a chunk of them, and I think he had some like Fleer, and then he had some Upper Deck. And he was like, "What do y'all want? Does one of y'all want Fleer? One of y'all want Upper Deck?" And I immediately said, "I want Upper Deck." Had I known what I know now, I think Fleer is more valuable, but I wanted Upper Deck because that's the one I was familiar with, even though it's not been as relevant of a card company for the past 20 plus years as some of these other ones. So will Topps getting more relevancy and getting these licenses, will it bring up these other card companies? My opinion, yes. I call it the Bitcoin, whatever. I should have come up with a cool name. The Bitcoin effect. That's it. Nailed it. First try. Bitcoin, all these other coins are none of them are as valuable as Bitcoin, but they all rise and fall based on the value of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 100 grand, they're all coming up. When it goes down to 30 grand, they're all going down. Okay. And some of them are dying out. And that happens in cards as well. But as that market gets stronger, it all rises and falls based on the biggest one. So when Topps, who's arguably the biggest one, gets the licensing, everything will rise and fall on that. Okay. The next big take, again, from Mantle, shout out Mantle, is from at Sandoval's Cards. At Sandoval's Cards, they said in 2025, their hot take is in 2025, Topps flagship baseball cards will sell rather quickly and will remain in the eyes of the collectors due to Barry Bonds signing cards. Barry Bonds, by the way, is back to signing for the first time since like 2017. Barry Bonds, you've heard of him. He has a polarizing legacy. It's making his autos, they're more nostalgic and controversial. Like O.J. Simpson, his autos have a little bit of a premium over other players from that era who are just as good. Like, it has the cultural relevancy and it adds a layer to it. All right, I posted a short one time of, what's that dude? The tight end from the Patriots. You're saying it right now. I know you're saying it out loud right now. He, Hernandez, no, was that it? Not Alex Hernandez. What was his name? It doesn't matter. I got one of his cards graded, posted a video, and a lot of people were like, that's cool. And a lot of people were like, how dare you grade that card? That's awful. And so whenever these again, Barry Bonds didn't kill anybody, just probably did steroids. I don't know if he ever came out and said he did. But these players, him, McGuire, Sosa, like they were the guys, like I was the very end of when I was staying current with baseball was when McGuire and Sosa were in that home run chase to try to beat Roger Maris's record. Like it's super relevant. And I don't think as many people my age or younger care as much about that. Like a lot of the old heads are like steroids, I saw a comedian one time say, I want them to do all the steroids. I want to see what the human body can do, push to every limit. All right. I want to see it, which I'm not encouraging steroids. Please don't use steroids. Okay. But I'm pretty sure since Bonds hasn't signed since 2017, it could be, and he's arguably one of the greatest to ever play the game of baseball. The nostalgia wave could elevate Bonds' cards, especially for younger collectors who are discovering this and don't quite care as much. Again, old dudes may want to exclude him, but the younger people don't seem to care. And that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so the next hot take says in 2025, it will be the year that really kicks the global expansion of the hobby into higher gear with massive shows and interest in the European markets such as Paris, London, Rome, etc. And Fanatics Live and whatnot will expand with that as well. This is submitted by GH5 Collection. Everybody knows Europe's love for soccer. They got Mbappe, they got Ronaldo, they got, Messi's in America. Hey, we got him. He's ours. We got him and Beckham. These platforms like Fanatics Live and whatnot, I could see them wanting to ride that global wave and enable collectors, make it easy for collectors worldwide to engage. Because yes, you could try to increase the market here in America, but the easiest way is just make it more accessible for the rest of the world. There's 300 something million people in America. There's 8 billion people in the world. Just expand your circle and you got a better chance. But the shipping costs, all that stuff, the logistics, how do we get it over there? Plus a lot of these, football's an American sport. Like, how do you connect them? I know in China, live stream selling platforms are already huge. So it makes sense as long as the distribution works. So also, I don't remember the Dream Team. Y'all remember 92? I was 7. I remember. The Dream Team helped elevate basketball worldwide. Okay. And it raised that ceiling. And now, China's deal with NBA is like $1 billion investment. Like it expands that world. And then you figure out ways. Like they play football games in Europe. They play basketball games. They're trying to elevate these sports. So if these card companies can figure out how to do it, you're going to see that elevate. So the next one, the next hot take, this is a funny one. At Bob Lives in LA. Great name, by the way. Bob Lives in LA. Also, prayers up to LA. That's crazy with those fires going on. So he said, I'm guessing Bob's a he, we will see a first game-used jockstrap card. First off, how dare you? JK, this is gross, okay? but it's also weird, and there's a market for weird. At the National, one of my most popular viewed shorts from the National was a card with a piece of a woolly mammoth hair in it. Super weird, okay? But also kind of cool. And while it may seem pretty absurd, I think there's a niche collector these collectors have cult-like followings. Okay, so maybe I should have split this into 3 episodes, but I thought it'd be like milking Mantle's, intellectual property. Actually, I guess it's me milking Mantle, milking the people posting on Mantle. Like they curated from that. I'm curating from them. So, Inception for using other people's ideas. So sorry, Mantle, for that. But also check out onmantle.com. They seem really cool. I've been on there for a few weeks now, and I really like it. Working on a streak of posting and then commenting. So check it out. And I will do the second half of this. I'll do the other ones. I'll come back with a different jersey if you're viewing on YouTube, or I'll have a different accent if you're viewing on audio. Yeah, that checks out. So thank you guys for listening to the Sports Cards Are Dope podcast, and hopefully we keep making these things better. If you got any ideas, thoughts on things you want to talk about, go to sportscardsaredope.com. You can submit stories, and I'll read them and talk about them. Maybe if they're good enough. No, I'm just kidding. I will talk about a lot of those. Also, submit questions or topics you want me to chat about. Throw those in there at sportscardsaredope.com. Just scroll to the bottom and submit. I would love to read your stories, card stories. Also, your hot takes on 2025. Do that. If you hear one from these, go in and toss your hot take on there. Sportscardsaredope.com. Can I say the website one more time? Sportscardsaredope.com. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And thank you for listening. Y'all be good. Stay sweet. Subscribe and never stop collecting. Later.